Good morning, good morning, good morning. Great news today about Tesla and Hertz. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see the chat. Am I going to be able to see the chat? All messages are visible. Okay. So hopefully I'll be able to see the chat if there's a chat. Just wanted to update people. Hi, full self-driving. So here is the big news. First of all, for people who haven't heard, it was announced this morning that Hertz is going to be buying 100,000 Teslas, probably Tesla Model 3s, by the end of 2022. This sounds like a big deal from the fact of car sales. And I don't think it's really a big deal for car sales. Tesla is going to sell, wait a sec, Tesla is going to sell those 100,000 cars anyway. So that is not the big story. The big story is what Hertz is going to do with those cars, not immediately, and Cormac is dead on it. Not immediately, but what's going to happen in the future. So first of all, it does solidify demand. If there's any question on Wall Street with the Gordon Johnson, demand cliff stuff, very clear now there is adequate demand for Tesla cars. The biggest demand for Tesla cars is really Model Y and then Cybertruck. Model 3's demand, while still strong, is relatively small compared to Model Y demand. And we've seen recent price increases on Model 3 anyway. I have a theory here. Hi, Genki des Philip. Yoroshiku. I have a theory that the vehicles that Hertz is going to buy will be standard range Model 3s with lithium iron phosphate batteries. Typically, rental car companies buy the lowest cost version of a vehicle. That will be the lowest cost version of the vehicle. It's also the vehicle that's going to retain its value longer because lithium, and R. Dotton is dead on it. This is about robo-taxis. What this is really about is robo-taxis. But the lithium iron phosphate battery packs will last longer, so the vehicles will have a longer life and they will have a longer value everywhere. So, yes, I'm sure the tractor trailers delivering Lucid cars are really exciting, but strangely, Hertz is not buying Lucid Motors fantasy cars. They're buying Tesla Model 3s. So here's the big deal. The big deal is not, yes, I love Tom Brady. Tom Brady basically promoting Teslas is good, but Tesla doesn't need to be promoted. Tesla doesn't need somebody to buy cars. Here's the big deal. The big deal is 100,000 cars that are capable of robotaxi use in the hands of an owner that is likely to use them for robotaxi use. When Tesla sells a regular individual a car, that individual is somewhat less likely to use the car as a robotaxi than a company like Hertz, right? So if I buy a Tesla, I'm going to want it for my own use. I'm going to park it in my garage. I might use it 2 hours a day. If I do put it out in robotaxi use, maybe I put it out for 8 hours a day while I'm at work, and then I have it take me home. The average Tesla owner is probably going to run their vehicle as a robotaxi, either not at all or only a few hours a day. Hertz, when the robotaxi network goes live, is going to put those robotaxis to use 18 hours a day. Hertz, so this is a big deal for Hertz and it's a big deal for Tesla. Number one, it's a big deal for Hertz because Hertz effectively becomes the second largest fleet operator. Hi, Craig. Hertz becomes the second largest robotaxi fleet operator in the world behind Tesla. Tesla will be the largest robotaxi fleet operator. Hertz will become the second largest robotaxi fleet operator unless some other company starts buying Teslas as well for their fleets. So now, when the robotaxi network goes live, and we don't know when that's going to be, a lot of people are calling this a call option on robotaxi for Hertz. No, it's over. Robotaxi is going to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I still am confident did I have any lucid dreams last night? I am still confident that Tesla will hit robotaxi, they will hit FSD, and FSD will be nailed probably, I don't want to say by the end of 2022, but certainly by the end of 2023, they're going to have robotaxi nailed. I still think by the end of 2022. I'm driving FSD Beta 10.3. I drove it here today, FSD Beta 10.3 is very good. It's got flaws. They're still working on things. I can see improvements happening as every upgrade happens, as every update happens. So we're going to see more and more improvement. And then Dojo is going to come online sometime in the next several months, and Dojo is going to rapidly accelerate that. So Robotaxi is going to happen. If not, it's not if, it's when. So let's suppose Robotaxi network goes live in 2023. If they sold that 100,000 Model 3s to regular customers, those regular customers probably wouldn't put the vehicles in the Robotaxi fleet, or not very much. This is the backyard of the house that I own with my wife. So from a Hertz perspective, let's go from the Hertz perspective first of all. 100,000 cars. 100,000 cars. Let's suppose Hertz makes $50,000 a year in profit, gross profit on each car. And I could break down the numbers for you why, but let's suppose running them as robo-taxis, $50,000 a year in gross profit. 50,000 times 100,000, if I'm not mistaken, that's $5 billion a year in gross profit for Hertz. When I last checked, Hertz stock was trading at a $13 billion market cap. Okay, let me run that again. Hertz is currently trading at around a $13 billion market cap, and they are looking at 2023 making $5 billion a year in gross profit just on the 100,000 vehicle robotaxi fleet. So I tried to buy Hertz this morning, 200 shares, and there was an issue with my account, so hopefully it won't go up too much before I buy it. So I'm giving you the tip before. Again, this is not professional investment advice. I'm not a professional investment advisor. You should talk to a professional investment advisor before you make decisions. These are just my opinions, blah, 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 blah. But I think Hertz is going to like massively increase in value. If Hertz is looking at $5 billion a year in gross profit, and call it $3 billion a year in net profit, and a 20 price earnings ratio, then Hertz is worth 4x what it's selling for right now. It's HRZZ, I think is the stock. So I would consider, it doesn't matter whether Hertz bought FSD, they will make a deal with Tesla to run them as robotaxis when Robotaxi network goes live. Tesla will be happy to make a deal with them. The reason why is this is a big deal for Tesla too. If the average Tesla owner, individual Tesla owner, is only going to put their vehicle in the robotaxi fleet for say 2 hours a day, then Tesla doesn't make that much money on that robotaxi fleet. So Tim C, this video is not about Lucid. If I see you comment about Lucid again, you'll be hidden from the channel. You will not be able to comment in the chat again. This video is about Tesla and Hertz. I appreciate that all you Lucid fans are having lucid dreams that Lucid is going to succeed, but we're not talking about that today. So, I think Hertz is going to hold these cars. There's no reason for Hertz not to hold these cars. These aren't gas cars. Hertz is going to hold them. They run them in a robotaxi as a robotaxi fleet. They make $5 billion a year in gross profit. Tesla also makes ballpark $5 billion a year in gross profit from the vehicles that Hertz is running for them. Tesla's cut. If Hertz didn't, they will just make a deal with Hertz. Well, they'll split it. So Hertz earns $5 billion a year in gross profit from this 100,000 vehicles, and Tesla makes another $5 billion a year in gross profit. Tesla makes a lot more profit on these vehicles run by Hertz in a robotaxi fleet than they make by you buying them and sitting them in your garage. That's the big deal. Well, no, Cormac says 25% commission split. We don't know what deal Tesla is making with Hertz on this robotaxi fleet. If Hertz isn't paying up front for FSD, they might negotiate that later, and Tesla says, hey, we'll do 50-50 on the robotaxi fleet rather than selling you FSD at the time. Or maybe they sell them FSD at the time. So yeah, I mean, there's other issues. Will other companies buy into this? I don't know how much more Model 3s Tesla will be able to produce for these rental car companies. We don't know what price they're getting for the robotaxis, but this solidifies demand. So in the short run, from a Wall Street perspective, this solidifies that Tesla has demand. And the short-term thinking is Tesla is going to be able to sell every car that they make, which we already knew. The bigger deal is, and let's talk about Hertz for a second. This takes Hertz. Hertz already had pretty much a solid position as the #1 rental vehicle company, with Enterprise and Avis sort of up there. And now Hertz is pretty much locked in their status as the #1 rental vehicle company. And, you know, I have a lot of friends. I thought it was HRZZ, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's HTZZ. Just search for Google Hertz stock and you'll find it. If you put this together, I don't know if maybe it will be also be that Model Ys when the demand for when the production of Model Y starts to equalize demand for Model Y, consumer demand for Model Y, it might make sense. Right now, Tesla's going to make high-end Model Ys and sell them. Yes, thank you, HTZZ. Tesla is going to make high-end Model Ys out of Austin and Berlin initially. When they fully ramp in 2023, when they're fully ramped and they're producing them in higher volumes, then I think we might see Tesla Model Ys going to rental fleets. But at that point, it may be that Tesla just runs its own fleet. So, and yeah, this is another thing. Like I have friends who own Teslas and they put them in Turo for rental on Turo. And really Turo is in some ways a better experience than renting from a rental car company. And, you know, your choice of vehicles is a lot better with Turo. This now gives a great vehicle choice for rental car companies, for rental car customers that they're flying into the airport or whatever. And now they can rent a Tesla Model 3. It's the safest car on the road. It's the most efficient car on the road. They're probably going to eliminate like you're probably not going to have to charge up the battery before you drop it off because the cost of charging the battery is going to be so low. Because Hertz is deploying their own charging system and it's going to cost them, you know, $5 to charge the vehicle. So maybe they'll charge you something and they'll make a little bit of profit on you bringing in the vehicle uncharged, but it'll cost you a lot less as a customer than it would cost you to fill the tank on a vehicle you're returning, because the cost of charging a Model 3 battery for Hertz is going to be like $5. They're going to have a massive deal there. Oh yeah, maybe, I don't know if they're presenting other rental car companies from buying Teslas. I think that's an interesting question. I would not be surprised to see a deal from Enterprise or Avis, probably not Avis, but maybe Enterprise to buy Tesla Model 3s as well. And then when Model Y ramps up, and the other thought is, there's been a concern that Tesla will be perceived as a monopoly. And if Tesla is perceived as a monopoly, let me just see something here. Am I dark? If Tesla is perceived as a monopoly, there's an opportunity for, you know, the regulatory environment to start attacking Tesla with antitrust laws in Europe and the United States. But if Tesla sells 100,000 fleet to Hertz and Hertz is operating its own robotaxi fleet, then Tesla looks like less of a monopoly in the robotaxi world. So even though Tesla will have the largest robotaxi fleet, there will be other robotaxis out there operating on the same network, and Tesla has a little bit less of a perception of a monopoly. So the biggest deal here is just when you think about the profit story, when you think about this, number one, Tesla sells a bunch of cars, they lock down these sales, their cost of the transaction is probably a lot lower than selling them to individuals. Now you're selling them to one operator, and the transaction cost to Tesla of doing this transaction is great. CM, so they're making these Model 3s, and this gives them an outlet for the Model 3s. CM asks why, can I find that? If Robotaxi goes online, why sell to Hertz when they can make them to their own good? So once the Robotaxi network goes live, I think that Tesla will probably stop selling vehicles to rental car companies, but selling them to rental car companies now means you have an additional source of vehicles that will operate in the Robotaxi fleet when the Robotaxi fleet goes live. And Tesla can call Hertz and say, hey, listen, we're making the Robotaxi live in California. Can you shift a bunch of cars to California so that our Robotaxi fleet is bigger in California? You're going to make more money because we have the Robotaxi fleet live. So this is going to add, let's say 2023, this is going to add about $5 billion in gross profit to Tesla's profit line. So, you know, and to Hertz. So as I said, Hertz is cheap. If I could, I tried to buy Hertz stock this morning and I had a problem with my account, which should be resolved sometime today. This is going to be insane. This is going to be a massive deal. Oh. I'm sorry, I just saw something funny I'm not going to talk about here. Missy Cummings arrive at an airport and rent a Tesla? That's going to be funny. This is batshit crazy. So the stock is up like crazy, up 3 Gordons. What is that, $60? The stocks are up. I'm a very happy person. Anybody who owns Tesla stock is a happy person. But Hertz is up too, and Hertz should be up way more than it is. I see Hertz going up 4x on this valuation. When the robo-taxi fleet goes live, Hertz 4x's, right? Because this is $5 billion a year in gross profit for Hertz, just this alone. And then, then the other question for Tesla, there's sort of a legitimacy question. I think Tesla was already pretty solidly legitimate in the eyes of the corporate world, but now arguably the top rental car company had just has just agreed to buy 100,000 Teslas. So that ends an era of legitimacy. It was like getting the S&P 500 index listing, that gave an air of legitimacy to Tesla. Now we have additional legitimacy. So we're heading close to $1 trillion market cap, and short-term valuations are hard to figure out. I still can't figure out. I know what just happened. Somebody flashed you. What? Nobody flashed me. No, I got a text about a current political issue and arguably criminal issue related to the entertainment industry. That was really funny about who's going to play a certain actor on SNL. It's not going to happen, but it would be funny. Oh my God, that's funny. So, Hertz just came out of bankruptcy, and they're operating. So this is great. Look, they've got rid of their debt and they're ready to move forward. People keep asking about splits. I don't talk about splits. I don't talk about short-term share prices much. I do think this is an obvious boost to the short-term share price, and just a long-term valuation here for Hertz and Tesla is really, really big. So I just want to summarize this key point. Hertz didn't just buy 100,000 cars. Hertz is buying 100,000 cars that will become robo-taxis, that Hertz will be able to operate as a robo-taxi fleet in the Tesla robo-taxi network. Hertz is going to make $5 billion a year in gross profit off these robo-taxis once they go live. $50,000 a car, 100,000 cars, $5 billion a year in gross profit. I think I've got that number right. 100,000 cars, $50,000. I think that's $5 billion in gross profit for Hertz. I thought it was 100,000 in the U.S., but I'm not sure whether it's the U.S. or worldwide. And yes, I think it's going to be LFP batteries. So we are going to see a massive jump in Hertz valuation when when FSD goes into wide release. That's a sign that the robo-taxi network is coming, and Hertz fleet becomes a robo-taxi fleet and becomes massively valuable. And Tesla is going to earn a significant additional income off those robo-taxis. Probably another $5 billion a year in gross profit for Tesla. This is all probably starting in 2023. So you buy Hertz now at a $13, $14 billion market cap. It's going to be looking like a $60 billion plus market cap in 2023. It's going to 4x in a couple years. So Tesla's going to grow faster, but that's really, really good. This is not the park. This is the backyard of the house that I own with my wife. So give you a little view. We got a lake. We got flowers. We got patio furniture. Nice sky, nice palm tree. Everything's pretty. All right, so that was the key point. I just wanted to nail that really quick. This is a huge opportunity. Not professional investment advice. I'm not a professional investment advisor, just my opinion. If you haven't bought Tesla yet, now's the time. If you haven't bought Hertz yet, this might be a good time to buy Hertz stock. No alligators. We do get an occasional alligator in our lake, but they're small ones. So I have seen an alligator here once in a while. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thanks to the Vasa Law Firm in Sweden, all my Patreon supporters for helping channel grow. Thanks to the moderators, particularly I saw Mark Potoknik. Forgive me, Mark, for mispronouncing your name if I'm mispronouncing it. Thank you for moderating. Thanks everyone for watching. Please support the channel on Patreon. Please buy the t-shirts. It's Elon time. Please buy the t-shirts at elonbits.com. Check out my other videos, and thank you so much for watching. Now, how do I end this thing?